Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of SafeDefend Live. Joined today by my good friend Rusty. Rusty, how are you, brother?
Good, doing awesome. Fantastic after the last few weeks' events.
I was joined by my good friend Rusty.
You got me now?
We're having serious technical difficulties this morning.
Must be the weather.
Nothing seems to be working right now, but hopefully we'll get through this. Rusty, I want to jump right in and talk a little bit about some of the conferences you've been at over the last few weeks. And also just talk about, you've been with SafeDefend really since the beginning, right at a decade now. And just talk about kind of what you see out there in the market and your observations.
You know, we just got back from San Antonio a couple of weeks ago, and we attended the AASA conference. And that's really a conference for superintendents and administrators, school board members. And before that, this last summer, we were in San Diego for the NSBA conference. We saw a huge decline in attendees for that for obvious reasons. But this AA conference that we went to, I think I'm coming up on 10 years working with Jeff and helping start SafeDefend. And we have not only done a lot internally and improved our system, our building our SafeDefend system as a whole, making it more user friendly, and we've just gotten better year after year after year. But what strikes me in going to all these conferences every year, especially the national conferences, is you see these companies come and go.
Yeah.
And as you know, and most of our clients know, and our friends and families know, that we are a true startup. When I started with Jeff, it was just Jeff and I.
Yep.
And then, our wolf pack grew, right? And we've developed quite a system and a process in place to get better each year. But what strikes me, like I said, is we've seen a lot of these companies come and go, the various door locking devices, the different types of apps and notification systems that in all reality, they don't work. When you rely on something that's not hardwired, just like we rely on our system, and just like the fire suppression, you think about the fire alarms in your building there in your office and our building here and every school and business, they're hardwired for a reason.
Right.
There's not a fire marshal in the country that would come and pull those out and rely on Bluetooth or an app because they're not reliable. But that's one of the things I've seen is we'll see a company there and they'll make a big splash in the market, right? Why is that? Well, everybody's looking for something. Everybody's looking for a solution, and they're desperate. And just because something might be a little less expensive doesn't mean it's going to be better. And SafeDefend continues to be the most comprehensive system on the market. We're the only company in the United States, what I've seen for the last 10 years, that provides the practical training, the real-time notification to both law enforcement and people within the district or the place of work, and then allowing staff members or employees to protect their kids or protect their colleagues. So we've got it covered from A to B. I know you've talked with Greg, Dr. Vecchi, about what we can do left of bang, bang, and right of bang. And we really have it all covered. And that makes me feel good. But it is interesting, though, to see these companies come and go. They may make a splash for 1 or 2 years, and then they maybe don't have any training, or that some of those apps and some of those options are great for other types of emergencies, like a weather-related emergency, or we're letting school out, or a way to communicate, but not in those first 15 seconds. We always say what happens in the first 15 seconds determines what happens in the next 15 minutes. So if we can help expedite that response time for law enforcement, and more importantly, everybody in the building, we're going to save lives. Did we lose you? I think we've lost our connection. Are you back?
Well, I wish I could. I wish I controlled the internet. I just,
See,
Al Gore's done such a good job with it. We just left him in charge.
That's exactly this is exactly my point. You know, it's like my home.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right.
My home system, my security system, it's hardwired.
Yeah.
We don't have these glitches, right?
Yeah. So, yeah. That's 100% right, though. We're on wireless internet at our office.
Yeah.
And at our studio.
Yeah.
And you're just talking away. And I mean, you just go dark. You're just gone. So,
well,
thanks for carrying the show for about 4 minutes there.
No worries. I could talk forever. You realize that after 10 years, I'm still very, very passionate about what we do.
Oh yeah. I know you are, brother.
You know, you've been able to see us from pretty much the beginning as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm real proud of our team. We got a good group of guys and gals that have worked with us over the years, and we're on to something. And I would just, we talk to our current customers, and they've helped us get better. We've come a long way from having a 30 count reading box with the old trough and the reader to where we are today.
Yeah.
With having unlimited numbers of prints. We can allow folks and do the remote enrollment, and just bringing on people, the quality of individuals that we brought on with Greg Vecchi, Dr. Vecchi, and Craig Deaver, bringing on a former educator who spent 30 years in the Liberty School District has been a great access because he gets it. He's been there. So I know he's been on here a few times. We're lucky to have the team we have. We continue to grow, and we'll be looking to add more employees here in the next year or so.
Well, I think before I lost you, and I apologize because I don't know what you talked about for the few minutes when I was trying to get reconnected, but I think one of the things that really impresses me is that SafeDefend's always stayed true to let's do it the way we know it works. We're talking about people's lives. So,
right.
We're not trying to cut corners. We're not trying to do things for the sake of a sell, which is something I've always admired about the team at SafeDefend. You guys have stayed true to your core values, true to wanting to make workplaces safer, whether they're schools or they're private businesses, whoever they may be. And I think that's why you guys are still here and growing and prospering when so many, like you said earlier, come and go.
Right.
I think there's too many folks just trying to throw something at it. And, one thing I've learned back before I was old and fat, back in my youth, was that, when you're talking about life and death stuff, it's usually a pretty good idea to not cut corners.
Yeah.
And to not try to do everything the cheapest way you can. We understand budgets. Obviously, it's SafeDefend. I mean, I know that's everybody gets that, but how expensive is something when it doesn't work? Uvalde had a system, didn't work.
They had everything in place.
Didn't work.
They had everything in place.
Right. And it's so when it comes to items like this, when it comes to the well-being of your employees, customers many times get caught up in shootings in the private sector, and then obviously the students inside our schools and educators, employees. You can't cut corners. You got to do it the right way. And I think that the longevity in this industry has proven that SafeDefend's doing that.
Yeah, I touched on this earlier, just about how far we've grown as a company and what we've developed.
Yeah.
From an IT standpoint and our technology, now having a server-based system with remote enrollment, it's made it so much more user-friendly. I know it may not seem like that, but what's been impressive is a lot of our schools and businesses that have been with us for nearly 9-10 years have seen us grown and appreciate what we've done, and they've helped us get better.
Yeah.
Listen to our customers. And a lot of those, I have a couple right now, businesses that are upgrading to the new system. because they see the benefits. Our mission has remained true, right? We've never got away from helping them save lives with seconds count. And in all reality, as you know, we can't stop these tragedies from happening, but we can mitigate the loss of life, and that's what we do.
Well, I think
Something
what
else,
you were talking earlier, though, about left to bang, I think especially with Dr. Vecchi joining the SafeDefend team,
right?
his background is speaks for itself. Retired FBI agent, ran the behavioral science department for the FBI. His left to bang is, and that's one reason why we're so SafeDefend is really evolving in the training area. That does allow us to do more than what we used to be able to do to
Right,
mitigate those opportunities ever, presenting themselves, those tragedies, through training and education and know-how and consistent application of that training. And I was explaining to somebody the other day, they said, well, that's pretty cool. You got this guy from the FBI. I said, well, that goes to show the commitment that SafeDefend has. Because to my friend's point that was asking me about it, guys like Dr. Vecchi don't come cheap.
No.
And so you got to reinvest into the company all the time.
Right.
And it's just most important. So I think there's cool things going on with the left to bang training that Dr. Vecchi has brought to SafeDefend that I think allows us to do more than we could before.
Exactly. And I think it's all about what we've evolved from is not just handling the bang and right of bang, the event, and how do we communicate, notify, and all those things and post-event, but really preventative. And that's exactly what you're talking about. If we can bring in to your district to do some training, preventative training with the school counselor, the psychologist, the SROs, the assistant principal, the principal, senior leadership, whatever, we can help with that. And, if we can prevent these from happening in the first place, that's even better.
Well, that's the perfect outcome.
Yes, it is. Something else that's been exciting is we're breaking ground across the states. We've had a lot of success in Ohio. We're venturing into New Hampshire now, and we just secured our first school district in the state of Texas. That announcement will be coming soon, but we're really excited when we meet these folks at these national conferences, like I said, the ASA or what have you, and they get it. And they see the benefits that we can do, not just for their kids and their staff and the parents, but the community as a whole. We've seen a lot of these schools where the community just feels better, knowing and kind of we can help provide that peace of mind, knowing that their school district or their business down the street or their factory or plant has a plan in place for the unthinkable. And that's still one of the greatest things we can do is help kind of ease that stress of the community, knowing that their school has got a plan in place, and we can help mitigate that when it does happen.
Yeah, and I think schools are, I don't want to say taking it more serious because that implies that they weren't taking it. They've always taken us very serious. So
Right.
I just don't know. I think unfortunately there's been such an uptick in incidents that they've been forced to take it even more serious than they already were, which they were taking it very serious before. But I think it's also forcing them to take a hard look at what are they really doing.
Right.
I mean, that's one of my pet peeves. I'm a big sports guy, but I don't like it when districts say we just can't afford it. And then you look and see the other stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it pisses me off.
Yeah.
It's about priorities, right? It's about priorities, and that you can afford it.
Yeah.
And you can't afford to not have it.
Yeah, I've been in those meetings where they think everything's fantastic and they love what we're doing, and then they see how we can enhance what they currently have, and then we don't have any money, but then they just spent $6 million on new field turf. And
exactly.
I love athletics and football just like you, but really, so it is
priorities.
Yep, it is. It's just like a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, Rusty, I'm going to give you the final word because I want to wrap this up about the 15-minute mark because I'm scared if we go much longer, I'm going to lose the internet again.
Well, no worries. I will just say I'm one happy guy. I was able to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And my Chiefs. It was a very much a team effort.
Yeah.
It was a blast. My older brother and I were able to go, and after having season tickets for 30 years, it was fantastic to actually go to the Super Bowl and see them in person. And we had a lot of good Chiefs fans there. It was a fantastic game, and like I told you earlier, I got to where I did not like the "Fly Eagles Fly" song, but it was fine after the game. So.
Well, I think this is what I said going into that game, and these were the only two teams that could get me to end my boycott of the NFL, which I did. I watched it.
Nice.
It's the first NFL game I've watched in years.
Nice.
I love both coaches.
Yeah.
I love both quarterbacks. I love the storylines on both teams. I loved everything about it. So I couldn't lose. I mean, I wanted the Chiefs to win, being a Kansas boy, but it was really interesting. It was one of those games where I couldn't pick somebody I didn't like. I couldn't have, because I like both teams.
Yeah.
Happy the Chiefs got another Super Bowl ring, obviously for obvious reasons. But it was fun too, leading up to it with the whole Kelsey brother storyline, and how can you not love the Kelsey brothers, both of them? I mean,
I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in years, but I think I'll probably watch this Saturday because
you probably ought to. That's right.
I just want to see what he's going to say next, right?
God only knows. God only knows. All right, my friend. Well, we appreciate you. Keep up the great work. And if anybody wants to get a hold of you, Rusty, give them your number real quick if they want to reach out to you.
You bet. Just Rusty at SafeDefend.com, or you can call us here. We're in Olathe, Kansas. 913-856-2800, and we'll be happy to help you out. Or, we do I do a lot of, you can see I've got a studio set up here in my office. We do a lot of Zoom calls and help people understand how we can maybe help them. And it's free.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it, Russ. You guys are doing good work. Keep up the good work. Tell everybody up there to getting feeling better. I know you guys have had a little sickness run this week at the corporate office, but we will talk to you soon, my friend.
All right. Thanks. Take care.
All right. We got to say it. I know.
Go Chiefs.
There you go. See you later, Rusty.
You know me too well.
Bye, buddy.